Be me. 2010-ish. Just got done playing Civ 1.04 today. Crash out on bed. Wake up and notice 8 hours have passed by. Look around and notice the room is upside down. Ceiling is floor and carpet for ceiling like in picture. Figure it's a dream and just pull myself back onto floor. Doesn't work. Try jumping up back onto floor. Doesn't work and just hurt myself. Got a scratch and a bruise from jumping. Go back to sitting on ceiling and just look around. Notice I'm missing a bed and a lot of furniture. Hear a knock on door to bedroom. Voice asks if I'm alright. Figure it's a parent or something. So I say I'm fine and just fell out of bed. They say that I don't have a bed and that I sold off a decent chunk of my furniture weeks ago. Make up excuse that I forgot because I just woke up. They seem to buy it but then ask what was the bang. I tell them that I simply slipped when doing jumping jacks. They buy it and ask when will I be done. Tell them in like 10 minutes or so. They buy it again and tell me to not forget to put on the outfit in closet. Ask why. They laugh and say for my marriage today. WTF.jpg. Laugh back and just say oh yeah, almost forgot. Thanks for reminding me. Claim no problem and ask if I needed help putting it on. Say I don't and that I'll be fine, Dad. They claim they aren't my dad but my uncle. Say sorry and then hear them walk away saying don't forgot your lines neither. Yell back to not worry, I remember. Don't hear them anymore. Take a deep breath and relax. Feel face and body. Notice it's not mine, nor is it humanoid. Decide not to delve too deep into that. Look around some more. See what looks like a window. Think that I should get a grasp at my surroundings. Decide to look outside my window. Every single house is upside down. They're all standing upright on their roofs with the foundations now just some sort of blue cube with particle effects that go up into the sky. Each house has a door on its roof that links back to the street and road. There are no cars in the roads, only people riding bikes, roller skaters, and some weird floating skateboard thing. There are a few riding weird creatures that look like a Komodo dragon, a zebra, and a donkey had a kid. Look up and the sky was filled with flying vehicles that still follow the roads on the ground. Sky was blue and dark purple. Look back in room. Every single furniture in the room was abnormal but function and was practical. My computer desk for example was in the shape of a 7, but it had a spine going through the back of it and had this blue gel crap emitted some particles under the top part of it. I tasted the gel, it was horrid. I used the gel on some small object nearby and after applying it the object would float and remain in place and matter how many times I tried to move it. When I removed the gel the object fell back down and was free to move again. Want to take gel back with me? Quickly realize I can't. Only conclusion I have is that whatever method brought me here only placed my mind in this body of this plane. I grab what I assume is a note and write on it for the person that I borrowed the body of. I basically write the following. Your world is nice and I wish to stay, but I can't because it not only would be in bad taste for me to take your body as my own, but also because I have duties to my family and my own plane. So I thank you for granting me the opportunity of seeing your world, and one day I wish to come back here in a body of my own, but for now I must return to my own plane and give you back your body. Draw some sigil on the note as my signature and leave it hidden on the desk. Go back to where I was sleeping and close my eyes. Spend the next few minutes thinking so hard about returning to my own body and world until I feel like I blew a blood vessel in my brain. Feel my mind leave that body only for another mind to return back to it. Feel myself return back to familiar vessel. Open my eyes. Everything is back to normal. No wounds on my body, not even a scratch. Can still remember the taste of the gel, though just not with my tongue. Do my morning routine and leave room. Ask my parent if we had an uncle over today and they say no. Ask them if we're going anywhere today, like a marriage or something. Again they say no. They ask why the weird questions. I just claim that I heard them talking about something like a event or something when I came downstairs. They thought I meant going to the mall, so I rolled with that. Later in the day I go back to my room to game and find a note. It roughly read as so. Thanks for returning my body, you're welcome to come visit my world again sometime. Toss note in garbage and just pretend it never happened. 2 halves. I still think about that gel sometimes and wonder how'd you use that to create a flying vehicle. I get it frequently. It typically happens when your circadian rhythm is fucked up Or you're just taking a nap when you shouldn't be, so if you want to avoid it, just don't do that. Typically it will just be me laying there in my head trying to get myself to wake up. Breathing is kind of tough, and it's just an uncomfortable experience overall. Here are a few of the weirder instances I can remember. Feeling like someone is pressing their arm on the back of my neck throat with all their force. Hearing incoherent voices, whispers all coming at once. Sounds of doors slamming, large bangs. Typically happens right as I wake up, so I'm not sure if it was real or not. A weird one that happened to me somewhat recently. Wake up and sleep paralysis, but my eyes are still closed. Pitch black. Feels like there's something breathing down my neck. Hear guttural low-pitched growling voices. Like an animal or some creature breathing heavily and growling. And finally, my strangest experience. This is like a mixture of sleep paralysis and out of body. I've had a few minor instances of this, but this one is the only notable one I can recall. It's a little hazy at this point, but I'll try the best I can. Woke up one morning realizing I'm in a sleep paralysis state. I'm able to see my room a bit clearer than usual. It's rare that I'm even able to see anything during these events. Looks like my room, but it's all a bit off. Everything looks gray and a bit dull. Genuinely having a hard time telling whether I'm awake or asleep at this point. Trying to force myself to move as usual. Eventually, I manage to, but it doesn't feel right. Part of me feels like I'm not actually awake. Like I'm in some kind mixture between the two. Doesn't feel like I'm in my body, but my brain is half awake. Walk out of my room. Again, my house looks pretty much exactly as it would, except there's a grayish hue to everything. Can't make my way to the staircase. Notice there's a figure standing towards the bottom of it, looking up at me. Has a face similar to a Wendigo, but it's hooded in black and looks ethereal. Much of its face is shrouded. I'm not at all intimidated by its presence. It feels as if there's nothing too out of the ordinary. I just kind of notice it and walk past. It makes no aggressions towards me either. It's just completely neutral. Just looking at me. Go into my kitchen and see another figure. It was robed as well, but can't remember what its face looked like exactly. Just looking at me as I dick around in the kitchen for a couple seconds. Eventually walk back upstairs past the weird things and go lay back down in bed. Feel like I'm back in sleep paralysis state. Close my eyes. Wake up for real this time, in the same position I was during sleep paralysis. The only way I can describe how I felt during this whole thing was sedated, in a fugue state. This felt like something a bit more than my mind playing tricks. Almost felt like I stepped into some sort of spirit layer dimension or something like that. Id about much of this kind of stuff. Maybe someone here can provide insight. Be me, centuries-old kappa. Been eating cucumber and ass souls for longer than most human countries have existed. Pretty cash, live in a stream with a waterfall, can perv on schoolgirls and old men alike. Or play pranks and eat their anus souls, whatever I want, not like anyone is gonna fuck with me. Oldest yakai in the prefecture, even the Tengu bow before my old ass. Pretty cash. Hear a strange noise outside my waters, peek up to plan my not-so-sexual assault on the intruder for kicks. What the fuck is that? A bloated human fatter than an oni in a depression waddles to the edge of my stream and meets my gaze. Nani the fuck. Scrolpinting. Frozen in primal fear, no idea why this blob of fat can inspire such fear in an existence as great as mine. The mortal presses a thumb to his wide-rimmed glasses as he struggles to move in the summer heat beneath his black leather trenchcoat. Stare dumbfounded and start to give my grandiose speech, Gage and Motherfucker probably won't understand, but tradition is tradition. Snap. The obese pig man just pulled on bright neon blue gloves and licked his lips. In broken Japanese he mutters, "No turtle man, your soul ass is mine." Stop mid-sentence to process what he said, and by time I do it's too late. He leaps on me, his girth and weight shattering every ancient bone in my body. Supernatural strength can't lift unnatural weight. Screamed under the water as I learn what I've been doing to people all my life feels like as the Gaijin shoves most of his tree trunk-sized, flabby arm up my asshole. Last thing I see is the fucker licking my shirikadama while moaning to himself. Fucking foreigners. Scrolpinting. Reincarnate as Japanese schoolgirl. Not cash at all. I've got some nothing super wild, but weirded me and my girl out for long enough that we still talk about it. Be me. Taking a shower, sitting at the bottom feeling like even a full pot of coffee won't wake me up this morning. Sudden dread. Realize I feel like someone is on the other side of the curtain. Confused panic settling in for no good reason. Feels like someone is going to poke their head in and look at me, and I cannot shake this feeling. I feel like I already know what they look like. What am I on? GIF. Feeling begins to become unbearable. I open the curtain against my best interest. Feeling disappears and I'm just severely weirded out. FFW a couple weeks. This happened to me a couple of times, maybe 5 times total. My wife says I have a weird question. Do you ever get a weird feeling in the shower like you're being watched? Begin laying masonry in my britches. I tell my story about what I've experienced and nervously laugh off how weird that she's brought it up. It almost feels like you know what he looks like, right? She asks as we hash out more details. Fucking nope. This isn't just a coincidence. Yeah. Like a man with crazed smile and eyes too wide, and if you wait too long he'll open the curtain. That buyer of Chris compels you. WAV. Summarily freak out together and realize something's fucky. This went on for a while, but with less frequency until one day it just stopped. Really fucking weird. We still talk about it to this day because it was so obscure. No clue what it was about, and we're both not super into ghosts or whatever. Couldn't deny that weird experience though. Post your X-worthy experiences with this substance. I'll go first. DXM. Be me, lean skinny male. Off 1230 mg freebase tablets, 360 mg, my first time ever using DXM. Have intense come up with intense vibrations, feels comparable to vibrational state to those who have had an OP. Constantly check clock as the effects increase. Notice basically no time is passing. Freak out and fade out of consciousness. Wake up an hour later, thinking I was still awake through that, glad to see time has passed, but it happens again, and I get stuck in another time loop. Can't use phone, all text is blurry and I'm too disoriented. Calm susser Todd, it all comes tumbling down. Song from Evangelion, song plays. Intense Saturn hallucination in the pillow I'm laying on. Try to sleep the high off, but I get sucked into Saturn. Eyes are open, can't see my room. In my own personal hell, complete darkness and full sensory deprivation, apart from hearing the song. Song ends and I think I'm dead. Contemplate what makes me as a person, and I vividly see an overlay of the tree of life Sephirot on my body, but it quickly fades away. Spend eternity in ego death hole. Wake up at 7 a.m. the next morning feeling great. Be me. Guardian of dimensions. Chilling in 5-dimensional brainer space. Receive communication from Universe 771. Apparently some soft bipedal beings from Universe 1218 are consuming a substance that allows interdimensional travel and traveling to their world to sexually harass their women. Half the time there's a problem, it's those fuckers. Reflect on my life, realize this has always been my task, and I must protect the peoples of all worlds. Go to the brainer juncture between those universes and seal it off. Wait, one of those fucking Universe 1218 people is still floating through space. Can't send it back to Universe 1218 yet because it's ingested a large number of small physical structures that allow it to mentally exist in higher dimensional space. Fuck it. Send it to talk to a random 5-dimensional being and go off on my way. It will come back, and more like it will come. I will have to deal with these fuckers for the rest of the heat lifetime of their universe. Got a few work-related stories from my hometown I can post. Be me. 20-year-old college student. Work in a shitty gas station booth-type place attached to a supermarket. The booth itself is located a bit off-site on the other side of this huge parking lot, but the supermarket owns it. Booth faces the store with a huge wooded area directly behind it. The door to the booth faces left into the woods. Window in the booth is bulletproof, but only covers the front, so you can't see directly to the left or right of the booth. Been working there a few months when this nasty storm hit the area, rain so bad you could barely see 10 feet in front of you, flooding all over the place. But the supermarket refuses to close the booth down, so I show up for my 5 to 11 p.m. shift in the pouring rain. 3 hours into my shift, the power goes out due to the storm, which by this point has gotten downright apocalyptic. It's pitch black out there, and the rain is coming down hard. So I decide to sit tight in the booth while I wait for a manager or something. Phones are down, can't call into the store, nobody is buying gas either, so I decide to start doing my booth chores, cleaning the counter, counting cigarettes, tidying the drawer, etc. Same as FP, but I want to add that I totally fucking feel you, bro. Here's my experience with tulpa-esque magic. Be lonely af and self-aware to a fault. Try acid for the first time, all assumptions of reality fly out the window. Can't come to terms with the way life seems stagnant one way, but also chaotic and free another way. Spend several years focused on both the nature of reality fantasy and how it all relates to the me inside. Can't cope with loneliness, can't reach any satisfactory conclusion with life, know it's ultimately insignificant and futile because my dreams can't be found here, and if not here and now then where, when, and why wait, right? Drop acid again and realize that the only thing that isn't me is what I can't control. Sounds, visual, all sensations that are emergent come from beyond, even if I act to initiate them. Start studying the mechanics of the brain, playing with both known and unknown variables as well as meditation and imagination. Realize that the not me part of reality is constantly doing the same thing it does to me on acid, but I'm less capable of noticing or understanding by default. Could willingly alter the signals by adding fantasy contexts and therefore alter my story to be closer to my own vision, even add a separate persona to the world if I wanted. I could turn thoughts and sudden events into messages or expressions of love from an entity of my own making, a potential mate if I desired. Be me today. Regularly ignore the signals or duly note them, and constantly arguing with God about fantasies and pointless misfortunes. Receive no answer about my concerns, instead directed to worry about other things, sometimes get made fun of or teased by the world about my grievances and constant inner bitching. If you're anything like me, you'll get a kick out of the tulpa-ness of your life because it's such a trip. But it is sort of miserable, even a little scary, whenever you get a response faster than you expected. So I'm on meds now, and I want to tell my story. Be me 2 years ago heavily into magic and the occult. See the vaccine program as an obvious attempt at human depopulation. Curse the politician on TV while doing a war dance with my staff. Develop tinnitus always followed by some sort of message spoken into my ear, usually extremely evil. Start having sleep paralysis, where I'm stabbed by some demon. Levitate in my sleep paralysis sometimes. Once I was bound to my bed for about 2 weeks feeling completely drained and lost a lot of weight all the while hearing voices. Try my hand at summoning a Hindu deity by listening to Kali and Dattatreya mantras. Wake up hearing Hindu chants being spoken into my ears, can't understand any of it. Hear an English voice, why are you harming this boy? Voices go away for a while. Voices come back after a bit, and I start literally getting raped in sleep paralysis by a demon, grabbing me and forcing me to levitate onto his cock to give him a blowjob until I bite his finger. Also thread theme https://www.youtube.com/watch?v =09y4d_gst70